Friends, welcome back. Here is our next set of 5 questions from the booklet on MCQs and case scenarios. Come, let's get started. We'll start with question number 6. Well, here is our question number 6. Come, let's go through the question. Messrs. Ramraj and Associates have been appointed as statutory auditors of Venus Limited for the financial year 1920. During the year, the company has entered into some related party transactions. C.A. Ram, the engagement partner, has taken a management representation letter regarding the proper accounting, presentation, and disclosure of such related party transactions. Is there any further responsibility of C.A. Ram with respect to the other procedures to be performed for related party transactions? This is our question. It is saying that Ramraj and Associates have been appointed as auditors of Venus Limited, wherein Venus Limited has entered into some related party transactions, and C.A. Ram is asking the management to give some representation as to the accounting, presentation, and disclosure. Is this sufficient for C.A. Ram to express his opinion on financial statement, or is he need to do some more processes to analyze the validity of the transactions and proper disclosure? Let's go through the options first. Option A, no. There is no further responsibility of C.A. Ram, as the best audit evidence for the related party transactions is the management representation letter. Is that so? No. Because sometimes the management may even hide few of the transactions from the point of view of auditor, from to become those transactions to the notice of the auditor. So this option is not correct. Even the second option is not correct. So by reading the first line itself, the option is saying no. Is the answer no? No, it is not the answer. S is the answer. We'll go through option number C first, and then we'll come back to option B. Yes, the audit firm has a responsibility to perform the audit procedures to identify, assess, and respond to the risk of material misstatement arising from the entity's failure to appropriately account for related party transactions, relationships, and balances. So it is saying that auditor has to perform few additional checkings so as to identify the true nature. So this is the right option, even though we'll go through option number B and option D also. Option D is yes, the auditor has a responsibility to detect the fraud and error with respect to the related party transactions. Here auditor is a watchdog. It means you need to observe all the things. You are not an investigator to identify. Auditor has to look into the books of accounts with a view that management has prepared things properly, but you as a responsible statutory auditor has to check whether the management has performed it correctly or not. It is not like management auditor will always look into the books like management has committed some fraud or error. So option D is wrong. And option B, no, there is no further responsibility of C.A. Ram, as the audit firm is responsible for verifying the balances and disclosure of related party transactions. And the identification of related party transaction is the responsibility of management of Venus Limited. Even this option is wrong. Then question number 7. M&O Limited is a company engaged in the manufacture of kids' toys. The company sells its goods on credit basis. Messrs. Ajay, Vijay and Associates have been appointed as statutory auditors of M&O Limited for the financial year 1920. During the course of audit, C.A. Ajay, the engagement partner, asks the management about the email addresses of trade receivables of the company for the purpose of obtaining balance confirmation from the trade receivables. The management of the company asked its sales advisor to send confirmation requests to the trade receivables and collect all the responses and provide all such responses to the auditor. The management of M&O Limited also informed C.A. Ajay that confirmation with respect to two of its trade receivables, namely Sports Star Limited and Kids Zone Limited, won't be available as a dispute between M&O Limited and both the trade receivables is going on. With respect to other trade receivables, the sales advisor provided CA Ajay with all the balance confirmation. With respect to the balance confirmation request, which of the following is warranted as per the requirement of relevant essay? As per essay, it is asking what is the relevant confirmation request that auditor should obtain. It is a third party confirmation which auditor has to obtain from the debtors directly. So involving sales advisor in between is not the correct way to obtain confirmation request. So option A is saying CA Ajay should not have relied on the explanation provided by the management with respect to trade receivables, namely Sports Star Limited and Kids Zone Limited, and he should perform alternate procedures with respect to such trade receivables. Here the question is asking you with respect to the balance confirmation request provided, and here CA Ajay should have performed the procedures even with regard to those two receivables which the management has said there is a dispute going on. So this option is correct. And option B, CA Ajay should have obtained direct response from all other trade receivables instead of sales advisor receiving direct responses from trade receivables and providing them to the auditor. As we already discussed, auditor should have obtained the direct confirmation request from the debtors. So option C, both A and B are correct. Even then, we'll go through option D also. CA Ajay should have given a qualified opinion as a balance confirmation with respect to two trade receivables is not available. This is not correct because if there is any dispute, the auditor should perform further procedures to obtain the balance confirmation and should even identify the extent of progression between in that legal suit. Okay, let's go on to question number 8. Messrs. ABC and Associates are the statutory auditors of PQR Limited for the financial year 1920. While conducting the audit, CA Aman, the engagement partner, noticed the following. What he noticed? Payment of various fines and penalties, unusual cash payments, payments to various government employees not supported by any document, notices received from various regulatory authorities, heavy payments to legal counsels. What you understood from these observations? That this company is not performing in accordance with the laws, in accordance with the rules and regulations thereof. So, what the question is asking, CA Aman should consider the above as an indicative of what? Option A, doubt on internal controls of PQR Limited. No, because company is paying various fines and it is also paying heavy payments to legal counsels. So option B, we'll go through option B. Doubt on non-compliance to laws by PQR Limited. Yes, this is the correct option. Because the PQR Limited is not complying with the laws, it is paying huge penalties and huge payment to the legal counsels. Okay. And then option C, doubt on non-accounting system. And option D, doubt on going concern assumption. So option B is correct. We'll go through last but one question. Question number 9. For today's topic. Okay, auditors do not normally examine all the information available to them as it would be impractical to do so, and using audit sampling will produce valid conclusions. Random selection ensures that all the items in the population have an equal chance of selection. For example, by use of random table numbers or random number generators. Block sampling method includes selection of a block or block of continuous items from within the organization. Which of the following selection can be considered as a block sampling? Guys, you can if you get this question, you are really lucky, because the question is explaining you what is block sampling, and now you need to pick up an example from the below mentioned options. Question is simply saying that it is a selection of block or block of continuous items. So you need to identify this kind of structure from the below mentioned options. Option A, auditor Mr. A divided the trade receivables into two groups as balances above 20 lakhs and balances between 10 lakhs to 20 lakhs and selected different percentage of items from each group. Obviously, this is not a block sampling, because auditor is excluding less than 10 lakhs. Invoices less than 10 lakhs. So here each and every sample, each and every item of the sample is not getting an equal chance of getting selected. So this is not a valid sampling with respect to block sampling. And option B, auditor Mr. A determined the starting point as 10 and for the list of receivables and selected every 10th balance from receivables thereafter as samples to perform the test. So this is not a block sampling because you are not selecting any block of items. Option C, auditor Mr. A selected sample size as all the high value balances from the list of trade receivables to ensure that these balances shown are correctly recorded. So if you are selecting only the high balance items, then what about the selection chances of the low value items? So even this is not correct. Let's go through option number D. Auditor Mr. A uses a sample of 50 consecutive checks to check whether the checks are signed by authorized signatories rather than picking 50 single checks throughout the year. So auditor can select any 50 checks in a consecutive manner. So it is a block of 50 checks. So this is an example of block sampling. So correct answer is option number D. Last question for the day. You are the audit senior of Tay & Co. and responsible for the audit work to be managed for the fixed assets of the company. Tay & Co. has 4 properties amounting to 12.5 crore. One of the important tasks ahead for you is to confirm the ownership of these properties. Which of the following would provide the most pervasive evidence of the ownership? Simple thing. It is asking how will you verify the correctness of ownerships? Sale deeds. So sale deeds is our answer. We'll go through the options and we'll identify whether sale deed information is available or not. Option A, to conduct a physical inspection of all the properties located at different areas. Merely going physically and checking the property doesn't make you understand whether the ownership is correct or not. So we'll go to option number B. To ask the management registration documents of these properties and inspect and verify them. So this is our sale deed. So if you go through the sale deed, then you will be understanding whether the company is having the ownership on the said properties. Okay. So option number B is correct, even though we'll go through option C and D. To check all the properties are recorded properly in the fixed asset register and depreciation has been calculated correctly. This is obviously an irrelevant answer, because the question is asking about the ownership and you are speaking about recording of assets and depreciation in your books. So this is not the correct option. Option D, inquire with the management if these properties are insured and review the insurance documentation. So even if it is a lease property, the management will definitely insure the property. So even this will not be the correct answer for the question asked, because the question is on correctness of ownership. How will you verify? So it is through sale deed. Okay guys, that's all for the day. We have completed our 5 MCQs and we'll meet again tomorrow with the next set of 5 MCQs. Okay, then till then take care. Bye bye. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe to our channel to get instant updates of the latest videos. And please do share with your friends and help them to revise very quickly and in a short span of time. There is no need to go through the entire documentation and every time. So by watching these videos, you will revise the entire booklet on MCQs and case-based scenarios of CA Final Paper 3 Auditing and Assurance. Thank you.